Hello, everyone. It's Simon here for Elsa Communities, joining you from a Zoom gathering of our group leaders for this Learning Group Leaders Summit. It's part two of our discussion on work and studies, and we've had some amazing contributions so far. People have submitted some homework last week, which we've had a look at. So I'd like to thank Juan and Tin for having submitted some content. So really appreciate that. We've had a really good conversation on education and the need to have a degree to work and whether it's needed or not, and in which environments that is needed. And now our conversation is going to change focus. We're going to pivot to another type of discussion around work and studies, which is balancing work and studies. All right. There are loads of people around the world that study and work at the same time. All right. And I'd like to get a feel for the room first, and then we'll start talking about that. So maybe let me ask Laifeng, would you like to tell us if you have ever balanced work and study? Tell us a little bit about yourself in this relationship of working and studying at the same time.
Okay, so I try my best to sharing my opinion. Okay.
Go for it.
At the start, I just after I study, I go to working. That the time I not finish my degree. I'm just working. I thought that experience is very much important for the working workplace, but finally I found that if you want to get promotion for your workplace, upgrade your level, you're promoted. If you need the company to promote you, you have to finish your degree, because this is the basis of the company requirement. So only because right now at this moment, every company require degree is the basic for your not only working experience, but they also need your degree certificate for one day promoting you. So I feel that we can't to stop to learning. We have to upgrade ourselves. Like why I looking for the communications degree, because in my workplace we getting more higher request for the presentation. We have to presentation our resource, our result of the financial, because I work in account financial department, because we have to do right now every department have to do the presenting, the PowerPoint. So I feel that very important for the certificate for the degree. So I have to non-stopping to learning and continue learning. Then for outside, I can get this community.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that. So what you're referring to is what we call professional development, right? And it's a big aspect of the workforce now, or the life of a worker, is how do I keep becoming better at my job? How do I continue to develop professionally so that I can bring more value to others, to the company, to the society in general, but also hopefully get a promotion and a little bit of more cash in the same time, right? So this idea of professional development is really interesting, because technically you're always working and studying when you do professional development. Now, when you were doing your studies, maybe people had part-time jobs. Did anyone have a part-time job as they were studying? Raise your hands in the reaction button here if you've had a part-time job in the past. No one's ever had a part-time job? Is it just me? Okay, we have April. April, you've had a part-time job as you were studying. Tell us about that.
I was a private tutor while I was in college, and
good gig.
I enjoyed it, so that was not a matter of work study balance for me back then. Yeah, but for now, because I have a family now and I have work, I'm working full time and I'm still learning. because I don't want to be left behind.
Left behind.
So it gets serious. It's get more serious now.
I see. So you don't want to be left behind. It's interesting that also we continue getting better because we feel that the young ones behind
Yes,
us are coming, right? They're
exactly.
coming for our jobs. So we need to run that direction. Ah! But I think there's something to be said for experience as well. This is something that Anas pointed out in the previous section of this summit. He's like, yeah, it's not just the degree; it's also how much time you've spent doing it and how many scenarios you've encountered and how much that has an impact on how good of a professional you can be. Now, did anyone else in the group had part-time jobs? I was wondering if Tri Min might like to step in here. Hi, Chi. Would you like to tell us about yourself and if you've had to balance work and studies at one point in your life?
Hello, Simon, everyone here.
How's it
Honestly,
going?
I am just a university student, and I haven't had any experience with working. So
Okay.
in the future, if I get a job, I will try to balance it. Maybe I have to set a schedule table, and every day I have to look at it and set my plans for my future tasks and jobs. Maybe.
That's a really cool idea. Tri is already thinking about strategies on how we'll be able to balance work and studies and potentially continue with more professional development. So, Tri, would you mind telling us what sort of studies you're doing at the moment and what type of job you're hoping to get in the future?
Oh, currently I am software. Oh no, I am a student. And I am currently studying software development. And maybe in the future, I will stick to a job that will be related to my career or my major as a software developer or some kind of that. And yes, and
Cool.
it's quite a hard major to follow, but in fact, you know, you have to try your best to be alive on this industry to to keep going. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Now let me bring in Juan, who's also a software developer, if I'm correct, right?
Yes.
Do you do so? Maybe you have some advice for Tri about what it's like to make the jump from education to the professional world. I know that you're in between the two yourself. You're still studying, but you also have a foot in the real world of work. So maybe you have some advice for Tri as to how he should approach his transition to work.
Well, there's a lot of pages, and there's a lot of people and startup looking for developers because it's a very difficult career, and it's a very needed career nowadays. So if you have always to keep studying because it updates every time, and not only through formal education, because I think IT advances faster than the education system. So
Ah,
my
good
advice is
point.
to keep that. Yes, my advice is to keep studying by yourself through internet, for example, and if you do your own projects and you keep yourself updated, I think you will be good, and it won't be
That's
very
really
difficult to find
interesting
a job.
because software engineering, in a way, there's some people, there's some kids that are 5 year old and they start coding in their basement, and next thing you know, they become like some of the best at their job, and they're not even 18 yet. So the software engineering landscape. Of course, you can go through formal education, but anyone that has a PC can start coding, right? So it's interesting to me that it's such an open playing field for the workforce and for professional development. Lamnan Tien, do you want to tell us about your perspective on this? Are you also in the field of technology? I don't remember exactly.
Uh, no, actually, when I was a student, I studied English.
Okay.
And when I was working for the university, I use a lot of English. But since I left that, I don't use English a lot. So that's why Elsa really helped me to keep and to improve my English, especially the pronunciation. Yes.
Fantastic.
And
That's great.
yeah, since I left the university, I involved in many different jobs. But right now, I'm working as an M&E staff member of a project.
Mhm.
So because I joined this project for about 6 months, so I have to do a lot of research to know more about the project. I have to play with the number. I have to learn from the accountant. I have to learn from every people in the projects so that I know
Mhm.
more about the work I'm working. Yes.
So
Uh,
when we work in project management, a lot of it has to do with gathering information from different directions. I know that at
yeah.
ELSA we have a lot of so I work for the content team, so I work also as a senior content writer for the company. And aside from the events that we run with the social aspect of ELSA, I'm also involved in how we create new products and new features. And so I have to deal with engineers, and I have to deal with project managers, and I have to deal with linguists back here. So we have to always manage various areas of a business. And for that, communication and listening is super important as well.
Yeah.
So thanks for pointing that out. Has anyone else? I'd like to hear from our community administrators here a little bit because they're also in the discussion. Lucas, have you had to balance work and study in the past yourself?
Yeah, so honestly, working part-time throughout like my study with my really great skill, and it's really important to highlight my CV. But when I came to the balancing problem, like work and study, personally, I think the first thing I had to do is like think about my timetable. Like when as working to my already busy life, I can't afford to rely on my memory to keep track on important dates. So I have to like create a master calendar, maybe on Google. That includes my personal, professional, and maybe academic commitments, so I can easily see where my pressure point might be. That's why the way I balance my work and my study.
And that's why Lucas is one of our community managers because he's so organized. And because I'm not organized at all, I just show up and I just talk a whole bunch of rubbish with you guys. That's not true. But I like the fact that Martha and Lucas are so structured and so organized. It brings me lots of joy to have people like this working alongside me because I'm someone that's a little bit more spread out into 10 directions. And so they help me focus. They help me focus a little bit. Martha, have you balanced work and studies? Or maybe you're still doing that or just about, right? Because you're almost finished with studies. Is that right?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. At least that's what I'm trying to do as of the moment. But for me, I know that you guys know that it involves a lot of like working part-time and studying. It entails a lot of like building your CV, wanting to get more experience and stuff like that. But I personally started because I was introduced to like nonprofit organizations. I really love volunteering. When I was younger, I started joining nonprofit organizations and just doing all kinds of that stuff. And then I was very exposed. I was very much exposed to project management, even in my secondary high. Yeah, I love doing stuff for the NGOs. That's definitely it. But yeah, that is the first step for me to like being introduced to this idea that this is what I can do. I think that the first reason as to why I started applying for jobs at like 18 is because I believed in myself. I believe that I can do it. And I think that's very important when you are still starting out, especially as a student, is that you need to really believe in yourself and know your worth. When you start doing that, everything will fall into place. of course there will be hurdles, there will be different struggles. As of the moment, I'm not perfect, and I know that I have faults, especially in the workplace and as a student as well. But you know, it comes with a lot of responsibility. Just being able to have that mindset that you have responsibilities, and just being able to use the the free time that you have more productively is a very great step to like introducing yourself more into the workplace as you come near to your graduation. So
Oh
yeah,
my God,
I'm
words,
very
words, words to go for it. Sorry.
I'm very excited. I'm very excited to graduate actually, because I'm so excited to just work full time and just get over this stuff. But yeah, you know, I
Yes.
still also like I really like learning. But yeah, I think you just have to, I think one inspirational quote, if you can say, if you can call it,
Yes.
that you that students who wants to get into part-time jobs have to always remember is that you have to believe in yourself and know your worth. Yeah, so that's it.
Words to live by, Martha. You know this expression? When you say words to live by, it means that you've heard someone say something that has sunken into your mind and in your memory, and you're like, yeah, this feels true. I'm going to try to remember that. So, know your worth is words, or they are words to live by, according to Martha, and I would tend to agree. Know your worth and do your best all the time. And this is certainly what Martha is doing with us at ELSA. So, yeah, I don't think you need to worry about having enough work after you graduate. I think we have plenty going on for you here, and we're not letting you go. Fantastic. So we have a few minutes left, but there's a few people that have joined and that we haven't heard from yet. So I'm thinking about maybe Fuang Ha, who maybe would be interested in telling us about their relationship between work and study. Have you ever had to balance work and study, Fuang Ha? I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. I have 39 Ha Fong. Are you able to join us in the conversation? If not, that's okay. We can also move on to Iksan. Iksan, would you like to tell us your relationship to work and study, and where the two fit in your life?
Sorry, I'm still driving.
That's okay. Can you talk? Is it safe for you to talk and drive at the same time?
Oh, I'm still driving.
Okay, well, we'll let you listen. Thank you so much for that. And maybe you can complete the assignments and tell us a little bit more about that. I'd like to open the floor for the last 2 or 3 minutes. Are there any people here that still have some comments or ideas about the topic that they haven't had a chance to mention? If you do have some more ideas or points you would like to bring to the table, why don't you raise your hand using the reaction button, and we can let you have the floor for a few seconds if you want to speak about another topic. Anyone? Juan has got his hand raised. What is your concern slash question slash comment that you would like to give us now?
Well, I think it's important to mention that as the technology advances, it will be necessary for everyone in the future to balance studying and working. I think it won't be possible for anybody to work and don't study in the future, or study and don't work. It makes more sense, but I can't see a future where there's people who's not studying while working, because everything is advancing really fast these days.
That's
So
true.
studying is a lifestyle more than an activity, I would say.
Interesting. Other words to live by. Studying is a lifestyle and not an activity. I love that. I might put it on a post-it note next to my desk. You know, studying is a lifestyle. You should be doing this every single day, Simon. Stop watching Netflix. Yes, I know I should stop watching Netflix, but I love watching Netflix. Yes, what am I going to do, right? I think April, you had your hand raised. Did you want to add something?
Yeah, I just want to add a little bit about the topic that we're having right now, balancing work and studying, or balancing like work life. Is that you have to admit that you need help sometime. You have to let people in, yeah, and then also you have to prioritize your everything, the thing that you're juggling at the moment. You have to categorize everything and make a list of priority, and what is more important you do first, and what is less important you kind of, if you can hand over to other people to help you. Yeah, that's my input.
Very good. So your input is make sure you always have an assistant to do the stuff you don't have time to do, right? That's great. Listen, guys, we're coming to the end of our second section here. I hope it was a helpful summit for you all. I see that Anas has his hand raised. Anas, do you want to wrap up with a quick comment?
Hi, Simon. Yeah, hi all. Okay, I want also only to comment on the last talking. This is before prioritizing and categorizing all the tasks in the timetable. First, you need to know what's going on the flow and what's going with the plan. So everything we can't manage everything by the plan. We can't, because we need to revolutionize our task to understand what's the time, the value. We need to evaluate the time and value the time, because everything based on the habits. What your habits? Did you use to reading? If you assessment your maturity level about the reading, about the understanding, and make a comprehensive of this reading or something you are here. So now you can assess what's your level. The first thing you need to do, and only assess your level, because this is the first building block.
Okay.
Based on it, you will build on it.
That's really cool. So assess your level, have a good understanding of where you are. And I like the fact that Anas is the very, operations guy, where he's like, this is how we should do this. But you also have to leave some space for changes and for things to work differently. Thank you so much for that comment, Anas. Lai Fengshua, you also have your hand raised. Do you want to wrap up? I'm going to leave the last word of today's session to you, Lai Feng. So any last comments on today's discussion?
Yeah, for me, no. I just want to know that I very excited this like what we have sharing this moment. I mean, how I know that next schedule, the timetable, have we got the timetable schedule to enroll in this Zoom like this?
Okay, great question. So you're finishing with some question about when these events are going to happen. I'm going to redirect that question to Martha and Lucas. Would either of you guys like to let us know what the plan is for the coming weeks and when we're hoping for more of these summits to take place? Because it seems like people are really enjoying it here.
Yeah, that's right. So we need to know that the timetable, the schedule, so we can prepare ourselves to get in. So I'm very consistent to follow this ELSA community online speaking skill.
Martha, Lucas, do you have something to say about that? Lucas, do you want to say something, or either of you? I don't mind.
Yeah. So basically, thank you for your interest. Normally we will have like a two live stream on Tuesday and on Thursday. We will live stream, and you can see it on Simon G's channel on YouTube. And about the leaders summit, like this session you're having right now, we normally do it on Friday at 1 to 2 p.m. at ITC. Yeah, that's the schedule for the timetable for the summit.
Yeah. So basically, you guys, our group leaders, have exclusive access to this group leader summit. So this is our group leader summit wherein only the group leaders are able to access. So if you guys who are watching with us, you're watching this on Thursday, uh we have a KOC program or a leader program wherein you can apply to, and through that application you will be admitted to as a group leader if you successfully pass the screening. But these here are the people here that you see are group leaders, and they are very good examples or influential models inside the learning groups. And that is what we want our viewers to achieve as well, become a group leader who are influential to the group.
Fantastic. That's great. So hopefully, maybe Martha and Lucas, we could send a reminder of those schedules into all of the learning groups over the coming days so that everyone has a clear picture of when those events will happen. And thank you so much for that question, Lai Feng Shua. I really appreciate that. So it's going to be time for us to wrap up. Before we do that, I want to remind you what your homework is and give you a second little additional homework, just a small one for this part 2 of the summit. So for the part 1, we talked about education and success. And for that, you have a video homework. I would like to do or to follow the example of Tin and Juan and film yourself for about 60 to 90 seconds, very short, and talk about if the education that you have received has prepared you well for the career you're in, all right? This is your video task, all right? And this was for part 1 of the summit. So hopefully by next week, we will start receiving some videos from all of you. I'm really excited to see what we're gonna get. Now, for this section of the summit, I have a smaller homework for you. I would like for you to write a few sentences, okay, about the following topic, all right? I would like for you to write a few sentences about a time where you had to balance work and studies, all right? And the impact it had on your life, on your personal life, on your schedule as a professional, how you manage your schedule. A lot of people talked about scheduling today and how it was tricky to do when you balance work and studies. And finally, I'd like for you guys to write down if it was worth it or not. Was it worth it to do both things at the same time, work and study? All right, so this is a written task, and what we're going to do, we're going to gather the best quotes and the best mentions from all of you, and we're going to create a little board of your answers. I think that's the plan. Is that right, Martha?
Yes. We'll definitely feature some good answers from you guys.
All right, so these are the 2 tasks that we're asking. On top of that, I would encourage you to review the work and career sections in the app, as well as the education sections in the app. Please complete some courses within those sections. It's connected to the conversations that we're having, and it'll help you build vocabulary in preparation for the next summit, the next conversation, the next time you're having a business pitch, the next time you're doing a job interview, the next time you're meeting someone for networking in your city. All these business interactions, they all come through language. Ultimately, we can send as many texts, as many emails as we want. It's all about how we can communicate on a person-to-person level, and that comes with English or other languages, but we're focused on English proficiency here at ELSA, all right? So I'm going to wrap up today. I'd like for everyone to turn on their screens and their cameras if you can. I'd like for everyone to say hello, goodbye. Thank you so much for a very, very productive summit today. We've had 2 big sessions, 2 big working sessions on education, work, and career. So this was Simon for ELSA Communities. I was really, really happy to be supported by Martha and Lucas today, and to have as many group leaders in this summit as possible. So thank you so much. Hearts all over the place. Thank you so much, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.